5 seconds to go. Start. More than 3 crore 20 lakh such students are benefiting from various scholarship schemes of the government. These include students belonging to the scheduled caste, backward classes, forest dwellers and tribal community and minority communities. It is the endeavor of the government to ensure that maximum number of eligible and needy students are able to avail the benefit of these scholarships. Along with this, the central government's share in the funding of post-matric scholarship scheme for scheduled caste students is also being enhanced. Similarly, the network of Eklavya model residential schools is being expanded to cover every tribal dominated block to facilitate the education of tribal students. So far, more than 550 such schools have been sanctioned. Along with improvements in education, the emphasis of my government is also on simplifying and streamlining the recruitment process for jobs. The youth have benefited greatly from discontinuation of interviews for recruitment to Group C and Group D posts. By setting up the National Recruitment Agency, the government has freed the youth from the inconvenience of appearing for multiple examinations. Following the mantra of Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Viswas, my government is prioritizing the development of all sectors and all sections of the society. To alleviate the hardships faced by Divyangjans, thousands of buildings, public transport buses and railways have been made accessible. About 700 websites have also been made accessible for Divyangjans. Similarly, to provide better facilities and equal opportunities to transgenders, the Transgender Persons Protection of Rights Act has been implemented. A development and welfare board, development oriented schemes are being implemented on priority by my government in 112 aspirational districts which have fallen behind in the race for development. Stop. Para. It is my privilege this evening to greet you all, my fellow citizens at home and abroad, on the 30th anniversary of our independence and to convey to you my good wishes. It will be my endeavor as the first servant of the people to exert myself to the utmost for the service of our people and our country. I hope to return in some humble way the affection and regard I have enjoyed from all sections of society for 45 years of my political life. 30 years have gone past since we become free. The events of the recent past have proved the maturity of thought, confirmed our belief in the democratic way of life. Today we can hold our heads high as the world's largest democracy. This by itself is not enough, and if the democratic way of life is to last, we must look inwards and examine our thoughts and actions. The democratic way of life must result in a rapport between the mass of our people, particularly those living in the rural areas, our political mentors, and the administration. Life for our long suffering people, many of whom live well below the subsistence level, can have no hope unless it has substantial inbuilt economic and social substance. Only then can we mobilize our enormous human resources to actively participate in the task of nation building. We have in these last 30 years experienced success and failure, happiness and sorrow. We have yet to end poverty, ignorance and disease, and inequality of opportunity. The ambition of the greatest man of our times, Mahatma Gandhi, was to wipe tear from every eye. Our work will not be complete until this noble objective has been achieved. Para. India lives in the villages, and these simple folk are our richest heritage. The 5 year plans for socio-economic development have no doubt yielded some result, but has their impact been substantial? Sign of interrogation. Have the benefits of planned development be relocated to the remote village and the weaker sections of society? Sign of interrogation. Until I assumed the office of president of India, I was a kisan working in the fields in sun and rain. I know at first hand the difficulties which millions of our countrymen face even in obtaining the basic necessities of life, like drinking water, facilities for education, and health. Para. Staff might be appointed for him and office space might be provided for him. It is because of this that certain misgivings have arisen in the minds of some of the members, and they want it to be made perfectly clear that the staff will be appointed not only for the ex-president but will be appointed by the ex-president, and it will be his wishes and his desires that will be taken into account when a particular person is being appointed. Also, regarding the office which is engaged for him, his wishes should be taken into account so that he knows what would be a convenient place for him and he may to get that place. Para. Another reason for insisting on what I consider to be an important details that, if the government appoints the staff for the ex-president, when automatically they become government servants because they have been appointed by the government. It may be that in the rules a clarification might be attempted whereby they may be exempted from some of the service conduct rules which are applicable to normal government servants. But even there, it will be much better that this should not be left in any doubt and that these persons that are appointed to assist the ex-president in his secretarial task are appointed by the ex-president himself. They would be the staff of the ex-president and would not be appointed by the government for the ex-president and would not be government servants. This point ought to be made quite clear so that the ex-president has got all the right of determining the service conditions of the people appointed by him, of course, subject to the overall limit which has been provided, and to my mind rightly provided in the bill. Within that overall limit, perhaps it will be much better to leave the rest of the matter to the president himself so that we may also express our further confidence in the president to the effect that he would utilize it with discretion and with all sense of responsibility and fair play and taking into account the interest of the public and of the public exchequer too. Para. Another point which also needs some clarification is regarding the payment to be made for the secretarial assistants and for the secretarial staff. Normally, government rules require that whenever any such demand is made on the public exchequer or on the consolidated fund of India, a certain formality has to be gone through and that formality of accounting has to be in a prescribed form. STO.